They say you don't choose your family. But for Gerard Estacchio, who grew up as one of 8 kids, he was happy with the one he got.
I would describe my brother as someone who's deeply devoted to his family.
He's definitely a mentor to me. He's a very generous person, and it's just a guiding light for me.
My brother was pretty much a person that one would love to be around.
In this upscale neighborhood of Fallbrook, California, Gerard, a real estate agent and kids rugby coach, lived with his wife Laura, their 2 children, and his older son from a previous relationship. And living in the guest house was Laura's mom, Cynthia Sitabaka.
After her stroke, Gerard wanted to make sure that Cynthia received the care that she needed, and what better place for her than to be among family.
3 generations all living together, but they weren't the Waltons. There were conflicts, most often between Gerard and his mother-in-law.
Their relationship wasn't the best, and at times they simply existed because both of them lived on the same property.
One of the issues, Cynthia was a smoker, something Gerard detested.
My brother did not want Cynthia to smoke in the presence of his children. He believed that if you're going to stay in my home, then you have to abide by my rules.
My Aunt Cindy would be on the back patio smoking because she wasn't allowed to smoke in the house. And he would be out there watering, and he would see, oh, where I see smoke, I see fire. Gotta put out the fire, and he would hose my aunt down with the hose. He did it to my cousin too, to Laura, his wife. He would hose her, wet her with the hose because she say something he didn't like.
And another reoccurring issue. Cynthia believed Gerard, a military reservist, was way too strict with the kids.
My brother would tell me that she didn't approve of the way he disciplined the kids. On the other hand, my brother didn't approve the way she would discipline his kids.
Typical family problems, perhaps, but it probably wasn't easy for Cynthia's daughter, Gerard's wife Laura, who often found herself in the middle. But today is supposed to be different.
I had planned on going over there and taking her to lunch and pampering her that day and just spending the day with her.
But the spelling bee and birthday celebrations would never be when the piercing sounds of gunfire change everything. Concerned neighbors call 911.
Sheriff's Communications Dispatcher number 10, may I help you?
I've never shot a gun in my life, so I'm not an expert, but I'm sitting here in my house and I heard 4 or 5 discharges.
Hi, I was in my bathroom doing my hair, and I could hear what sounded like gunshots, and I opened my window, and I hear it sounds like a man saying, help me, help me. Oh, I just heard the shot again. Emergency.
Yeah, there was some gunshots fired, about 5 of them behind my house, and now I can hear someone yelling, help me. Oh, another gunshot. Another shot.
I hear it.
Another one.
3 more, okay.
And this person is screaming, help
Yeah.
me.
You hear him, is it male, female?
It sounds kind of like a male, but it could be an old female with a raspy smoke voice.
Yeah, we've got several deputies on the way.
As deputies quickly descend on the quiet enclave, a trail of blood leads them to the victim.
Looking through the windows of the residence, they did see the body from outside and went in to actually conduct a rescue.
But a rescue will prove pointless. The victim is dead. George Estacchio learns there's an emergency at his brother's house and rushes there, not knowing what horror awaits him.
Well, as I approached the neighborhood, I was hearing these helicopters circling. They already put up the yellow do not cross tape around where my brother lives, and all I see was police cars. Then I knew right then and there that was something happening.
After many hours, George learns the body found lying in a pool of blood is his brother, Gerard. He'd been shot multiple times.
I said, wow. That's all I said. I said, wow, wow. My mind just kind of couldn't take that kind of news.
George calls family on the East Coast to give them the dreadful news.
My mother lost just about every breath she had. And despite losing her breath, the words that she uttered will haunt me for the rest of my life. She said, that woman, Laura's mother, killed my son.
George isn't so sure, but unbelievably, he does suspect the killer is family.
My brother had an 18-year-old son who happens to be a recovering drug addict. He had been a drug addict looking for money, and my brother being a disciplinarian, he probably retaliated against his father. It could be his son. Yeah, that was the very first thing in my mind.
So where is the older son? And for that matter, where is Cynthia?
My concern was, where's my aunt? You know, she could be hurt in the house too. They can't find her.
Jawar Estacchio has just been found savagely murdered in his own home, his body riddled with bullets.
We're all in shock. We don't know why, what, who, or when.
Right now, finding out the who is the most pressing of those questions. While sheriff's deputies aren't ruling anyone out, including Jawar's eldest son, they have someone very specific in mind they want to talk to. Jawar's mother-in-law, Cynthia Sitabaka, who lives with him and his family. Hours later, detectives find Cynthia celebrating her birthday at her favorite coffee shop and take her down to the station.
She did come into the police station in a very jovial kind of way, happily greeting the police officers, kind of like, hi, what's going on? What brings me here?
Cynthia is about to learn exactly what brings her here.
Something happened today at your house, and unfortunately, Laura's husband, you know what Laura's husband's name is? Well, unfortunately, Laura's husband has passed away.
Huh?
Laura's husband was killed today.
He was killed when?
Today. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to ask you some questions because we're trying to figure out what happened today, okay?
All right.
But the cries quickly turn into contempt.
So what did you think of him? Okay, and why do you say that?
That's the big thumbs down. You didn't like him.
Cynthia tells detectives Jawar has been abusive to her daughter Laura, and her grandkids for years, saying Jawar has sprayed her with water, tripped her, and choked Laura.
So mean to me and all of them.
He's mean to everybody?
Yes, he is.
So clearly Cynthia was not Jawar's biggest fan, but it's what she says next that really blows detectives away.
Did anybody try to stop him?
Can't stop him.
It sounds like somebody had to stop him. Or
I did. I did.
Okay.
I was guilty.
Okay. Somebody had to stop him.
I did.
Okay, it's okay.
Is he dead?
You tell me.
Gotta be dead.
You think he's dead?
I hope so.
In a shocking turn, Cynthia suddenly confesses to the murder. But what reason does she give for committing this homicidal act? Detectives learned the final straw for Cynthia was a comment Jawar made that morning before his daughter's spelling bee.
He says, you can't go like that because it looks like you're ghetto in this.
She took offense to that comment and went and got her revolver.
You got your gun from your purse, and then what happened?
Went and shot him. Wasn't enough.
Jawar never saw the first shots coming. He was shot in the back. Cynthia was just getting started.
After she fired all 5 shots out of that revolver, she chose to go all the way to her car and reload 5 more rounds into her gun. She walked back into the backyard and found the victim bleeding and crawling, trying to get away. And at that time, she pumped 5 more shots into his body. She still wasn't done. She still chose to go to her car and load 5 more rounds. At that time, the victim had crawled his way into the house and into the kitchen. She pulled out that revolver and fired 5 more shots until the victim was finally dead.
Cynthia emptied her .38 caliber revolver 3 times, stopping to reload twice.
How many rounds do you remember firing?
15.
15?
Yes.
And of those 15 bullets shot, 12 hit her son-in-law, Jawar, killing him.
Did he say anything to you?
Grandma, I love you.
He said that to you?
Yeah.
After you shot him, he said, Grandma, I love you?
Yeah. God damn.
Did you check to see if he was dead?
I didn't care.
She went and enjoyed her birthday. She went to Denny's, she went to Pachanga and gambled for 2 hours, and then went and enjoyed some coffee at a coffee shop until she was finally contacted by detectives.
Is he alive? He's not? Oh, good. Oh, thank you.
Unbelievably, detectives aren't the only ones hearing Cynthia's heartless confession.
Boom, boom, boom.
Jaward's family also hears it through the sheriff's station's walls.
As I was sitting there, I heard, along with my other family members, she loudly said, "Yes, I shot him." We all just stared. We just can't believe that she did it.
Is he dead?
He's dead, man.
Oh, thank you. Oh, boy.
You don't feel bad about it?
No.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
With that exceptionally enthusiastic admission of guilt, detectives allow family members to come in and say their goodbye.
I love you, guys.
Laura, Jaward's wife, Cynthia's daughter, is almost inconsolable.
Oh, God. Oh, I didn't have to do that. I wanted to. Oh, my God. Birthday. No. 13 years I wanted to go get him. I'm devastated.
And his young daughter, Cynthia's granddaughter, can barely make it in the room.
Oh, honey. Oh. Come kiss me, please.
No, you killed my dad.
Before placing Cynthia Sidabaka under arrest and taking her to jail, the detective suggests one last thing. She call on a higher power.
Whoever you pray to, you make sure that
I don't pray to anybody.
call on a higher power.
I prayed today.
Okay.
First time I ever prayed.
What'd you pray for?
Hope he dies.
Oh, boy.
This was a cold, calloused, premeditated murder.
Cynthia Sidabaka is charged with first-degree murder.
She had been planning this. She actually had been to the shooting range 2 weeks earlier and was practicing shooting with this very same gun.
Doctors evaluate Cynthia, finding her competent to stand trial. Almost 3 years after Jaward was gunned down, opening statements.
You're going to hear throughout this case that she would refer to herself as Ghetto Grandma. And I don't want to use that term in any disparaging way. She would call herself that even to her own grandkids.
And she tells them how it happened. She doesn't minimize. She's protecting them till the end.
So does Laura testify for the defense or the prosecution?
The victim's wife testified for the defense in order to support claims that the victim was abusive.
So the defense has Laura, but the prosecution has the interrogation video.
Where did you get that gun? We went and bought it. Is he dead? You tell me. He's gotta be dead.
Many days and witnesses later, the case goes to the jury. And when everyone's back in court to hear the verdict, Cynthia is seen strangely waving to the judge. But it doesn't help. Cynthia Sidabaka is found guilty.
And fix the degree thereof as murder in the first degree.
She showed no remorse. None whatsoever. None.
At Cynthia's sentencing, Jaward's sister, Janisa, holds up 15 photos for the 15 shots fired.
Every one of these photos epitomize him, his family, and his love of life.
And Laura also addresses the court.
I love my mom. She's not well, but I love Jaward too.
The guilty killer grandma is going down hard. 66-year-old Cynthia Sidabaka is sentenced 50 years to life.
50 years. Honestly, I thought she got up easy.
So the one question remains, was there abuse?
We looked into the various claims of abuse, and we simply just determined that whether or not they were true, the defendant had no right to make herself the judge, jury, and executioner. This was simply an act of vigilante homicide.
Now this family is suffering the loss of two of their own, one at the hands of the other.
I still cry a lot. Not only did we lose Gerard that day, but we lost my aunt too.
The word monster is even too good for someone like her. she's a devil. How could you do this to someone who permitted you to live in his home? And you did this without thinking about the consequences for your daughter, your grandchildren. That's the definition of a devil to me.